Hi folks, Norb Novason here. Welcome to our weekly video. We're going to share a few things with you, but first, I want to introduce you to Abby Humphrey. Abby does our photography.
Hi.
Okay, as you can tell, she's a little shy, but she likes laughing, and I love her laugh. It always lightens my day. Abby, let me ask you a couple questions about doing photography. About how many items would you say you take pictures of in one of your average work days?
An average day, probably about 50.
Really? That's just it? 50?
Well, on an average day, probably about 50 or 60.
Okay. And how many pictures would you say you take of each item?
On just a normal item, at least 11, probably 10, 15 at least on each item.
Okay, that's a lot of pictures. Now, I happen to know because I check over here, you actually do a little bit more than that. You average 20 pictures per item. Did you know that?
Not really.
You must get caught up in the excitement of doing it. And you actually, when we checked it out, you're doing on your workday about 70 to 80 items.
Really?
So you are actually, but keep in mind, folks, she doesn't work full time. She goes to school. And school's getting ready to start up again, which she is so excited about.
So excited.
And so she works part-time, and in that part-time, she's doing 70 to 80 items a day, and she's doing 20 pictures on average per item. If you follow our auctions, you've seen all those pictures, and they're fantastic pictures. You don't even see all the pictures we shoot because we just keep the best of. So that means that on an average day, you're shooting somewhere around 2,000 to 2,400 pictures in a single day.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Okay, we're going to share some things that we're going to be putting up this week. I'm going to get Abby's opinion on things, ask her a few questions. We want you to kind of have a feeling for what we do with the photography. Okay, we've got some things that we've spread out here, and these are pretty good items. There's not anything that is super fantastic, like thousands of dollars. Though if you want to bid thousands of dollars, we will not stop you on anything. Okay, but there's some fun, good, solid items. Let's go over a few of these. First off, Abby, what do you think is your favorite out of this group?
Probably this one.
Okay, let's start with this one right here. This is what Abby pointed at first. This is a piece of folk art. I'm holding it up against the backboard right now because I'm going to show you why. I'm going to pull this down. The backboard has got the entire world on it. Africa, Asia, South America, North America. And look how they blew up the islands. The islands are they're bigger than Florida. All the islands. Well, the reason being is this gentleman right here that signed it, Ashak, he's from the islands. This is an island artist. He's come to America, worked out of Philadelphia, and he does fantastic folk art like this. Now this is designed to hang on this backboard right there. We're going to be putting this up. It's a great piece, and actually from a picture we've seen of him, this could almost be a self-portrait, believe it or not. He's got a big old beard. This is a lot how his hair is wild and crazy. So I think he saw this, saw himself in it, and said, I'm going to do something on that. So it's a great piece of folk art. You got a good eye, Abby. Okay, let's share some of these other things we're going to have up. We've got this. This is a dowels or a miniature piece of furniture. You'd see it, set your dowels on it. It's probably early 1900s. I would say maybe 1910, right in that era. It's a beautiful little piece. We've got a couple sets of knives here. Now these knives are kind of special. These are Carvel Hall knives. Now I'm going to open this one up. Take a look at it. Look at these knives. They are shaped like fish. This is called their game knife set. This is highly collectible. People collect the Carvel sets, all the different sets that they made. And these are brand new sets, it looks like. They've hardly been used at all. The reason we're coming across something of this nature, Carvel Hall was made probably about 60 miles from here. Quality knives. Let's take a look at this. This is a book called Storms and Shipwrecks of New England. But what's so cool about this is there's notes and clippings all about ships that sunk along New England. Great storms and famous shipwrecks off the New England coast. In the back, there's information, including a piece of wood. This is a fragment from the door of the steamer Portland, lost at sea November 27th, 1898. They actually have a picture of the door inside that this came from. You've also got handwritten notes in here describing. Can you open that up, Debbie? Describing the shipwrecks, including drawings of the ship getting ready to wreck. These are fantastic. It's a fun book. It's a lot of fun for people who collect things around the Massachusetts, Cape Cod area. I think you're going to really like it. Okay, here's another piece. This is a wonderful, bigger piece of Perrier-ware. This is a spill vase. Now, for those of you who don't know out there, a spill is a piece of wrapped paper or stick that you would use to light a fire or to transfer a fire from the fireplace to maybe your pipe or something of that nature. This would be for holding matches in here, and you'd strike it up against the side. Now, Abby, tell me something. How would you take pictures of this? How many different angles would you shoot? What would you do in taking pictures of this?
Well, I usually try to, as you taught me, to get every point that if I was holding this and I picked it up at the antique shop, every point that someone would want to look at.
So you're going to take a picture of the front?
The side, the back, other side, the bottom, this, and then all the nice little details.
Okay, so in other words, you would get a close-up of the cat here.
Yes, the cat, the basket.
The basket.
All these little details right here in her face. And
okay.
Also the flowers.
So basically, anything that would interest someone, you're going to make sure that they got a picture of.
Yes.
And if there were a flaw, and this is flawless, folks, flawless. If there was a flaw, you would make sure that you got a picture of any problems there were, correct?
Most definitely.
All right. Okay, let's take a look at this. We have this bowl. Now, off the bat, probably doesn't look like much first glance, but this is actually a very unusual burl wood bowl. This is made from a knot on the side of a tree. It's a very unusual form with this lip, almost like a batter bowl. Just absolutely fantastic. I've never seen a burl wood bowl like this before. It does have a crack across the bottom. This has got a lot of age on it, but it's a gorgeous piece. Here in the back, we've got a wonderful box. Now, this is a newer box. It's not something that is a super antique, but it is something that's high quality, has a great look to it, and it's just a wonderful piece. Okay, now let's go over here. Here's something, Abby, I thought you would get a really kick out of. This, you know what this is, right?
A hat in a box.
A hat in a box. Good job. Now, this box looks shabby chic. It's in rough condition, but it's done the job of protecting this beautiful top hat. Now, what's really cool about this top hat, and I've never seen one before like this, this was actually made in London. This is a London top hat. I've seen them from the States, but I've never seen one from London before. In its original case, and the top hat is really in exquisite shape on the outside. There's some loss of the satin. Oh, there's some loss of satin right in there, but it's gorgeous. And you know what would really look good? There you go. Show them. Now that's cute. We'll have to get a picture of that for on the auction. Okay. Let's take a look at a couple other things we got here. We have this, and this is exquisite, folks. We got a load of items out of an antique shop. In fact, this still has a price tag on it. They're asking $295 for a Cupid lamp. Look at the shade on that. This has been electrified. You got 3 Cupids on it. It is just stunning. I really, really like that. We got a couple other things. Over here, we have a Florsheim shoe store display. This would have been in a shoe store. Now, you may not know it out there. One of my first jobs was as a shoe salesman. So this kind of has a special place in my heart. And this is the type of display you'd see up behind the counter when you're going in to buy some shoes. So this is a really neat piece. You got the black painted on the glass. So that's neat. And the last one I want to share with you today is we have this absolutely gorgeous antique rocker. Now, tell them something about this rocker, Abby. What do you see on this? You see the...
I see the really cute little painting right here of the kids playing outside, the little horse.
Now that painting is all hand done, and it starts right here and arcs all the way around the backing. This is a plank bottom chair. This is probably about 100 to 110, maybe 120 years old. It's a fantastic piece, and this one is going up, came out of that antique shop. We're looking forward to selling that. It should do really well. So that gives you an idea of some of the things we're going to be putting up this week. We're really excited about all the stuff that's going on here. We're excited for you to meet some of the people that are working with us. Abby, say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks again. Until next week.